Assalamu alaikum. I am Harun Nadeem on behalf of the Business Fest show, also called the BFest show. So we are joined here today by none other than Professor Dr. Usman Ghani. Thanks for having us, sir, here.
Thank you, Harun.
And so we did an interview yesterday, as you've seen probably in the other episode, in episode 1. We were talking to participants from Business Fest who will have their stalls on 12th of January. Today we're joined by the joint director, and we're going to ask some questions about how Business Fest started and how it all went about and what's changing over the years. And so that's my first question from you, sir, is what was Business Fest?
Okay, thank you, Arun. I think it has changed a lot during the last 5 years. When it started 5 years back, it was on a very small scale, and usually the students, as a part of their course, they would do it as an assignment, and they would have small stalls, and it wasn't that mega event. But what I see this time is becoming a mega event, where the stalls have increased, the enthusiasm has increased,
right,
and a lot of sponsors are coming. So I think it's becoming a big show now.
Right, and so this started off back in 2015, if I'm correct.
And what was the premise? I don't exactly recall the time, but I think this was 5-6 years back.
Right. Yeah. And what was the premise behind it when you were starting off back then? What was it supposed to be?
We have a course where the students are taught a business organization. As a part of that, the teachers would give them assignment because to practically teach them how business is done. They would come up with their brands, so it would teach them how to do branding. It will teach them how to do the selling and everything.
Right. And since you're from the academia side, you're looking over the academia here at M Sciences.
Yeah.
How much do you think the academia side and the Business Fest is linked? And how much do you think it's important to study ITB?
They are very much linked, because our purpose is not to teach only theory, but we have to teach them the practical side of it. So this Business Fest is actually the practical side of the course, which they are practically taught how to do business.
Right.
So, in a business, you have to come up with an idea, you have to implement it, you have to come up with a brand, you have to market it. So all these skills, you are taught. So practically the students are able to implement what they actually learn in the class.
Right. And another thing I might add is that something that I learned was that I could never talk to anyone before Business Fest.
Yeah.
We were forced into a group, I would say. Because we didn't know each other, and we were forced into a group, and then we started talking.
Yes.
We started teamwork, patience.
Yeah.
And so those are some key virtues I think are really, really important when getting to Business Fest.
I totally agree with that, because you have to work as a team, so it increases your teamwork. Have to work in a team. And in business, you cannot run a business alone. So you have to have good interpersonal skills. So these are all these benefits we're getting from this Business Fest.
Right. And so my next question would be about when you have classes from, let's say, 8:30 to 1:30, that's the normal schedule.
Yes.
And you're given a little bit of leeway in the department of the missing classes.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think it's important to weigh both together, Business Fest and prioritizing Business Fest as your main project for the semester, and then handling academia at the same time? Because it might, for a first semester student, it might be quite difficult, it might be quite challenging.
Yes, I understand. It is managing both together.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but it's a part of your academics, right?
Right.
Frankly telling you that life, even in our in business school, is not that tough as I've seen in other business schools in summer, because you have to work. I've seen people studying for 18 hours. It seems a little difficult to manage both the things together, but I think it's also part of the grooming. It's a part of the the teaching.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, it's a really fair point, because I feel like starting off in first semester, I was a bit lazy, I was slacking off. Even though I was doing well academically, it was just a bit too much for me to do all these things together. But now being a student here at M Sciences, it really helped me grow as a person. And I think it's one of the most essential things. And
This is what is the difference between a business school and a normal degree program.
Right.
Because we teach you so many things. And I've seen in my 24 years career at IM Sciences, I've seen people changing a lot. When I see them in the first semester and when I see them graduating, I've seen them a lot of differences. And I think this is what we actually aim to do. So if you see yourself, even after the first semester, you find so many changes in yourselves, I think we are successful in what we want to bring in you.
Right. Yeah. Another thing was that, when starting off in Business Fest, that was the first time I ever gave a presentation. And in my opinion, I wasn't doing that well. And now I am a completely different person, I would say.
And I remember when I did my first presentation when I was a student, so, all that shivering and, it happens. But you learn by, you get the confidence with the passage of time. And by the time when you graduate after spending 4 years, so we feel a lot of change, a lot of difference, and you in yourselves will see a lot of difference. So you're confident, you can talk to people, you can face people. So initially, yes, all the people that you see today with so much, when they speak with so much confidence, when they present with so much, they all go through the same process.
Right.
So yes, it is difficult in the beginning, but then you become used to it.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
My next question is about the growing aspect of Business Fest. We saw in previous years it was a bit homey, it was a bit cozy, and now we're trying to make it something very grandiose. We're trying to make it very big.
Yes.
And something that's changed this year is that we're bringing in commercialization. We're trying to make this as commercial as possible.
Yes.
How do you think, what has changed in the students? What has changed in the management? How did it grow? And
things are changing, students are changing. We always leave it to the students. Of course, the faculty supervise them, they guide them, but it's the students who make most of the things happen, right? I met so many people outside and they told me that your students have come for sponsorships.
Right.
I have so many friends in the market, and from there I found out that students go there, they ask for sponsorships. So of course, I think since things are changing, there's a competition and there's a more exposure, students are getting more exposure. So over the time, this has changed a lot, and I think it's a significant positive change. I think, when this event, which used to be inside IM Sciences and a small level, it has become so big that people outside speak of it.
Right.
So I see so many people in Peshawar know about the Business Fest now. They talk to me about it. So I think this is a great success.
Do you think social media has a large part in it?
Yes, that's one aspect of it. But beside that, also I think
there's an ever-growing presence.
Innovations that the students has actually brought, that is also a major factor.
Right. Talking about innovation, in this growing world where everything is being innovated, everything has been brought to the table. There's everything. We have everything at our disposal.
Yes.
How can a first semester student think of a new innovative idea? What do you think is a tip or a certain thing you have to think about when thinking about it?
It all depends on the environment. It all depends on the coaching. If you are groomed in the environment, so even the first year students, the first semester students can come up with good ideas.
Right.
And this is amazing, that students of first semester who come from backgrounds of studying biology in their bachelor, in their FSc, and studying physics and chemistry, and after one semester they get so much, they get so much skills that they're able to arrange such mega events. So I think we know that the people have the skills, people have the potentials rather,
right?
And if you direct them in the right direction, they can do wonders.
And that's one thing I realized over the 4 years over here is that it's only when you push yourself to a certain place is when you can get to that point. It's if you're gonna make excuses, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's never gonna work out for you.
It's not. Yes,
right.
I agree.
Going forward from that, this is my final question for you, sir.
Sure.
Is how can we improve Business Fest for the years to come?
What I foresee is by looking into the current year's arrangements and the management, I see it turning into a mega event in the coming years, right?
Right.
we can make it a 2 to 3 days event where we
Right.
can have more sponsors, we can have more audience from the outside. At the moment, it's limited to the families and the students' families and the students alone. But I think, we can make it
Bigger than
an
that.
event where even the general public can come and they can see. And I think in addition to the first semester students, our other semester students can also come up with their ideas and their projects. So it should not only, we cannot limit only to the first year students' projects. I think we have a lot of potential. I have a proposal on my table where students want to have vending machines in the hostels.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know of that. Yes.
Yeah. So there's so many other ideas. We have an incubation center. We have the business incubation center. We have the Durshal, where students are, are groomed how to know for their startups. So I think in the future we have to increase its scope. And increase it, we should go beyond the first semester students' projects, and other students can come and display their projects.
Right. And so this was going to be my last question until you talked about the innovation side of things and how startups. And so this is organized by the Startup Society.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think the Startup Society has helped students overgrow not only first semester students, but when people graduate and they move on to businesses or jobs? How do you think Startup Society has helped?
Things are changing. We had to change our vision statement to include entrepreneurship
yes,
in it, because in our previous vision we did not have entrepreneurship. But since startup has become a buzzword, entrepreneurship has become a buzzword. So we are now focusing on entrepreneurship, and we want our students not to be job seekers, but they should provide jobs to other people.
Right.
And as a part of that, Startup Society, the incubation centers, they all have a role to play, and we need to have a culture where students, I know some of the students have started their companies, even when they're studying at the bachelor level. So it's a very good sign. And the Startup Society and the Business Incubation Center, they all can together play a great role in this.
Right. Yeah. And that is an amazing point. I feel like being, and I talk about this a lot, being a student of IM Sciences, what gives me confidence is the examples that we do have of other startups. Purely that came from IM Sciences.
We have so many examples.
And it's the most motivating factor for me as a student. And so that's all for today. We are joined by none other than, again, Professor Dr. Usman Ghani. And sir, if you have any closing remarks.
Thank you, Haroon. Thank you to you and your team who came to me today. And we had this useful discussion today. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Our full support is with you.
Thank you, sir.
And we hope that we have a successful event this time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you
and so that's all for today. We're going to meet you in the next episode.
Thank you.
All right.